Hi again, back with these long rankings. I'm so sorry about that. I think in the future when if I ever do rankings again, I will ask people to watch the first one, this one, and then you won't need to be able to think. I can just go boom, 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 and fix it up very easily. How the rankings are looking is very, very interesting. I actually thought, I'll be honest, I thought there would be no one in C and D. I didn't think I would have any C and Ds at all. So it's interesting, actually. It's really going in an interesting direction. It's like a drama, and having the ladder to the right to show like where they could really probably go if you were a whale or if you knew what you were doing to a high extent. I think that ladder shows that again. None of them are really C and D. There are no real C and Ds if you know what you're doing. So, and honestly, in some respects, there's no real Bs. They could all be As in many respects. Again, if you know what you're doing. But anyway, the sword units in general, spear units in general, are just so weak compared to archers, compared to magicians. So the situation's really hard. Okay, let's continue. Next we have Cren, again another Jackan following the other Jackan Shamak we had. Cren is a very difficult unit. I mean, when I first used him, I thought, oh, he's going to be the best. He's so cool, and he has this skin that makes him look pretty powerful. And I just thought he had a future until I used him, and by the time I got to quest 35, quest 40, he became useless. So I decided, hey, what I'll do is I'll use his ultimate skill to buff another one of my spear units. So that would come in really handy. But it didn't. The buff of physical attack of 50 and attack speed of 50 didn't seem to make such a huge difference. Probably because I didn't use enough spear units. But how many spear units are you going to be using? So this is the first difficulty with him. Now his normal one, he throws a spear, unleashing the spear's energy, deals 400% physical damage, knocking them back, stunning them for 2 seconds, cooldown 10 seconds. Now this small cooldown of 10 seconds and a situation where you can level this up, this has potential. Now, Enchanted Spear enhances the spear's energy to enable attacks from a further distance than an ordinary spear. Now that's interesting, increases physical attack by 10%. Now I like it, it gives some range. He has lots of variations, but what makes Cren special, honestly, is him when he's awakened. He has a lot more to offer, but the problem is there are other units that also have a lot more to offer when they're awakened. But as a spear unit, he may be the best when awakened. This is a very high possibility. At awakening, he not only deals the 400% stunning for 2, cooldown 10 seconds with a knockback of 1.2. His knockback increases to 1.4. He deals 500% damage. And it doesn't stun for 2, it stuns for 3 seconds. But it seems that maybe there's a lot more. Maybe the stats are a lot more higher. I mean, he is just known to be so much more better. He doesn't look hardly any different, but as an awakened unit, he may be the best spearman out of everyone. However, for me, it's quite hard to believe, and I haven't taken him to that. Yes, 6-starred him. but I'm too afraid to awaken him personally. So what to do with him becomes difficult. And if you're not a whale, then he's near to useless. With all these good heroes, with so many heroes, with 40 heroes, like, there's just no time to, you can't waste time on just one or two. You can't just keep putting every hero in a good place. So yeah, he's got potential. His potential could be super high. Yes, he's probably going to be very good with his potential. But in general, he's just not good enough. He just doesn't stand out enough. Should he go here? Should he go here? It's really hard. I'd like to put him as B because he's cool. Because most units are not cool. They're a bit boring, like the male units. But he hasn't. He's just been so normal. Yeah. Yeah, I'm putting him here. Sorry to say. I'm not really impressed with him. But his low cooldowns are good. I'm really stuck on him. I'm giving him a B. Giving him a B. Can't believe it. What a huge change. Yeah, I have to change. I can't leave him there. Okay, that's as far as I'll go. I'll probably change my mind again. Cren is a difficult one. Honestly, he deserves a question mark as well. He is just so... I don't know. So, having the first question mark. Wow, well done, Cren. Next is Penfera. Another free unit. There is absolutely nothing to say, hands down, to Penfera. You need to get to, I think, around level 40 probably to get her for free, or I don't know, somewhere like that. And so it's quite far, but she's worth 6-starring. She's a very important unit. The more you star her up, the more you star her up, the more powerful her, the more better her ultimate skill is. So she can summon 8 spearmen type earth spirits in 22 seconds. If you haven't seen it, you won't believe it. To have 8 units, 8 extra units, it's her alone that also helps to make many spear units and swordsmen irrelevant. It's because of her. She's ruined the lives of what's supposed to be the tanks and the DPS. Like the way she's set up, she's kind of one reason for ruining the game. It's mechanics in terms of us not buying other heroes, but at the same time, we can thank her because free-to-play players can just pick a limited amount of heroes and win the game and do quite well. And she's to thank for it. So 8 heroes, normal skill, increases one of the Earth's max spirits HP by 40%. Very nice. And if your HP drops to 75% or less, now this is great. Under 75% summons another 5 Earth spirits without removing the existing ones. Now, when you see that amount of spirits on the screen, I mean, what you're adding here is like, what, you're having 13 units just from one, and plus her. This is brilliant. She's really good. Now, there's another hero who's like her. But summons only 2 units and doesn't need an ultimate skill. So it's difficult to know what to do because sometimes you don't. It's very difficult. How are you going to use? She's Amazon. Yeah, so this is so interesting. But I can tell you something. I don't recommend awakening her. It may not be as good as you think. So Penfera, you can use these earth golems and you can have so many of them. The cooldown is short. It's hell for faction arena. This is one reason why people can use Amazon so well. She alone can protect loads of magicians, loads of soldiers. So free-to-play players can owe a lot to Penfera. Later on, will you keep using her? I'd say yeah. And another thing is, because this game has so many bugs, if you really understand bugs very well, you might be able to use her to create bugs to help you win certain games. Who knows? But her potential is huge. This game can't cope with her. She's SS. You need her. You need her. So Celias can be 1-star. Penfera, 6-star. Next. Okay, so we have Quora, and this is the one who always summons for me on normal. I always end up getting her. Or I'm just trying to summon for someone, and then I get a starred version of her. The most irritating unit for me. But what can she do? Okay, so one thing is her rating is 4.7. These people, I'm not even going to say it. I'll get banned from YouTube. Okay, so charges fast at the enemy, dealing 400% damage, and silences them to prevent them from using active skills. Yeah, I mean that's nice. They can't use it for 5 seconds. However, how often can you get her to get in close range with an enemy without her dying first? It ain't gonna happen. She might be good for a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-2, but that doesn't happen at the moment in the game. She might be able to do something to a boss, but no. Assassinate, 400% physical damage, but 100% damage over time. Physical damage every second 4 times. All this is good in some respects. HP under 50, increased attack speed by 100% just for her. I mean, attack speed, it only was 1 anyway. It all sounds good, like she's the greatest ninja on the planet, but this game doesn't work with ninjas. Ninjas just don't make the meta. So she's I'm just thinking, if she was awakened, let's have a look. Awakening deals 500% physical damage to an enemy and causes them to bleed, dealing 100% every 4 seconds. Cooldown. That's it. That's it. Okay, so awakening sucks. Okay, nothing to say about Quora. If there's an E, she should have an E. Just a waste of time. Next. So let's move on to Anna, also known as, you guessed it, Wonder Woman. Okay, so nothing to say about that. I mean, yeah, you can give her a point for being Wonder Woman. I don't know, when I first looked at her, I thought she was great. When I first played the game, I thought, wow, I have to pull her, and I did. And after doing that, she was nonsense and had limited use for me, and just a waste of time. I don't know how it could be. Like, maybe Koreans are just racist and they don't want, like, American Wonder Womans. I don't know what they want, but this is ridiculous. They made a good looking hero who doesn't have the power of Wonder Woman. I don't know, maybe if I put her at 6 stars, maybe she'd be different. But her awakening doesn't seem to offer much either. She's quite worrying as a unit. So, I don't know what to say about her. But Cren is better than her. Okay, so Creon's better than Anna, and Anna is better than Quora. I don't know. I think Michael's better than Anna. A lot of people are going to say no. And that's only because Anna looks better. This isn't a ranking on looks. And I don't know if she has much potential. Let me tell you something. Maybe I've made the biggest mistake and it's something I just didn't know about. Perhaps. Maybe. I'm not sure. I think I'm right. But maybe she has a soul weapon, or she will, and that soul weapon will make her so good that it could push her to an S, and every whale will use her. Maybe. Probably not. Next we have Kirk's, the Orc Archer. Kirk's, Captain Kirk. What can I say about him? If you can see it, already, upgraded his levels, even of his normal skills, faction skill. Kirk's is one of the most important meta in the game. At the beginning, he's useless, nearly. But when he's awakened, and he's normally the first one you will awaken, so you could probably do it in a month or two. That's being nice. But he will probably be the first one you're awakened at the moment, and his influence when awakened is huge because his normal skill doesn't just shoot 5 arrows causing the damage, it adds poison. So this is an awakened Kirk's. It adds poison. And so so the damage over time is for 12 seconds. You use Kirk's everywhere. You use him for, especially like the Infinite War, use him like in boss fights. Whatever you're doing, Kirk's will always be there. Whether you use him as a main, it doesn't matter. But the thing is, Kirk's is one of the reasons why Lena becomes important, because she will increase the speed of his physical attacks, and his physical attack becomes very high with a nice weapon. And then when Lena is proccing him, it's like honestly, it looks like he has a machine gun. Kirk's is needed, and you kind of have to have him in general. I don't know if things will change. I don't know. But for now, he's so important. So where should he go? Well, Kirk's needs Lena, so he needs to go close to Lena. But he's definitely an SS. I think that will do. Next. Now we have Erin, who is another very unusual unit, if you ask me. Okay, so this is a difficult one. She has a great ultimate skill, summons a magic shield to block incoming ranged attacks. The magic shield value is equal to 100% of the character's HP and lasts for 20 seconds. I can't remember if it's 100% because it's 6-star, but the point being is that this magic shield is unbelievable when you think about it, when you consider that something can be blocked 100%. She should be SS unit. But it's weird. This unit is so weird. It's like even if you really have to place people correctly with her. It's really hard to know. It's really hard to deal with her. The thing is, the big problem is that Kremhild is better than her. So we have Kremhild, who's who feels like a better tank. It's like she's the second tank. Creon is nowhere near. I think Creon's much worse than this one. But if there was no Kremhild, then she would be the Kremhild. So it's, again, we have a difficult situation. What's the point in blocking 100% and then dying? Well, I think she can move back. I think she can jump back as well, can't she? Can she move? Like, charges and deals and knocks them back. So it's a knockback. So it's a knockback. But, yeah, maybe the knockback is the problem. So I think having the knockback really helps her. But, again, she'd probably be a secondary to Kremhild. But then again, you might have other tanks you might want to choose. It's difficult now. There's just too many heroes that you need to choose, and you can't just waste your gems. So think carefully. So as for Erin, she's not as good as Kremhild, not as bad as Creon. So that means she has to go between them, but she could have literally been a B. So we have a little problem here. I don't really want her to be an A. So I'm going to move Creon. What a big change. Creon is being moved. Will she move? She'll move. Ta-dum. It's difficult. She's a difficult one. But her potential is maybe A. That's it. So, and if her potential is probably A, no, I don't know. I don't like what she offers when she's awakened. I honestly think maybe Creon has more to offer at awakened level. So, nope. That's it. Very interesting indeed. And who's next? Aria. Oh, how could I miss her? Well, personally, I'm interested to see where Aria would go. I don't know if I'd recommend you awakening her like me, but she's definitely one of the holy trinities. She's the main trinity of the healers. The other one was Lavia, and there's still another one to come, but there's still some breakages in how healing works, so there are some very interesting healers to come. Her ultimate skill, yeah, okay, so it's because I've upgraded, but 350% of her magic attack. If you remember, Lavia was 200, but then again, Lavia was a 6-star. In fact, maybe not on this one. So what we need to consider is, I believe it starts at 300 from my memory, but the thing is, it's only in a designated area. So it's very difficult to know, and all the other healers are literally in a designated area. So Aria is hardly any different from anyone else. She's a Jackan, which doesn't help because no one really has her faction. So many issues with using this. Except that she's I agree that she's definitely the best healer if it was beyond the factions. How confusing. Look at this normal skill. Recovers HP of one of your units. 2,060% of your magic attack. Now, you keep upgrading that normal skill. You take it to the awakened level. You see what you're going to get. This is going to be very, very interesting. So healers are difficult. You need as many healers as possible. So what are you going to do? If you're in 3v3, you're going to need healers. If you just need healers. You need healers. Even in 1v1, you need a bunch of healers. Like for PvP, healers are needed everywhere, and there aren't that many, but they are increasing. So what are you going to do with Aria? How important is she? Well, you need as many healers, good ones. There are some like fake ones. So she's a kind of must. You need to have her. How much do you need to have her? It's difficult. Is she really more important than Lavia? Most will say yeah. Oh, so this all depends. I mean, so as everything is so dependent, no, I won't, because you do need. Unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately, I just don't want you to keep pulling too many units. So Aria is going to be an S. How important she is, I think, because people would rate her higher than Lavia. But the problem is you need both. You need one. You need to start getting more healers. So not much you can do, guys. Alright, next. Woohoo! Made it to the second. Made it halfway. Oh, thank God. I was hoping this would finish quicker. This is taking way too long. Okay, let's speed it up. Okay, Ellen from the Elf faction. Okay, maybe it's not Ellen, it's Eileen. Anyway, I haven't 6-starred her yet, but she's way on my list for 6-starring, and her awakened potential is maybe one of the best awakened potentials among all the magicians. So goes up from 300 to 400 damage. Well, maybe Drusilla has more to offer, and reduces target's magic defense by 20% for 10 seconds, 50% chance of increasing your crit rate by 10%. The thing is, these percentages are low, so it is a difficult one. It does seem like good advertising, and she does have Soul Weapon, so she's a really difficult one. How good is she overall? I don't know. In fact, I do have a Soul Weapon, that one. So, for example, when Ellen's ultimate skill, so if I got to level 5, when no, it's not even level 5, that's already right. Yeah, so already at level +1, when her ultimate skill Windstorm activates, increases duration by 2 seconds. Now, her Windstorm is a green storm, and it's quite nice. It's nice to use powering manually, so I like it. But then the +10 option, when her passive skill Magic Recharge activates, increases magic attack by additional 12%, +15 ultimate skill cooldown +5 seconds. 5-second addition to a cooldown. That's 35. I mean, that's actually quite a big one. And that green one is troublesome. And how much does it take off? But it's only 100 damage. I'd say, even for a whale, she might not be worth it. Damn, this is really sad for me, because I want to 6-star her. There's another reason I like her. When she's spinning, when she's shooting that green thing and it's spinning, actually they can't move for like maybe 5 or 6 seconds or something, and so that CC is quite it's quite special. There are magicians that are better than her, that have bigger AoE than her, you're gonna see, but if she can hold them, if her CC is stronger, again, it's like Shamak. It's like you use them in a special place to do something. It's getting ridiculous. It's like, yeah, how are you going to use them, and are they better? I mean, even the Amazon soldiers can stun people, and even some archers can stun. It's a mess. This unit is a mess. It's ruined everything. She's definitely a question mark. and I would have loved to put her in the Bs, but I'm going to put her in the Cs, and I didn't want to put her at the back, but hey. And for potential, I'm still not even sure her soul weapon helps enough. Next! Okay, let's talk about Tiffany, the one no one wants to talk about. In fact, I'm not even going to talk about her. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even bothering. She's an Amazon unit, she's a cav, she sits on a tiger, and she just runs in, does stuff. Yeah, there's one little good thing about her, but in general, just a waste of time. I'm not even going to go there with her. I invested in her because I wanted her for my Amazon faction group, and it was just a waste of time. It's just a mistake. How bad is she? Bad. Okay, done. That one's out. Easy. Next. So who's up next? Oh, Vikal. Another cav unit. How many cav units can I deal with? Vikal has an interest in awakening. Yeah, charges and deals 900 in your path, but freezes them as well. I don't think he did that before. And deals 30% additional damage if Jakan units are attacked, if they attack the frozen enemies. Okay, so I do think awakening Vikal as part of your cav troop makes him super, and he looks so cool, isn't it? Hunter x Hunter. I know he heals himself as well, and increases the spear cavalry's movement speed when they travel a certain distance. I mean, yeah, it's nice. Movement speed doesn't. Spear cavalry charge 800 damage. I mean, there's a lot of things. Isn't there a heal? Person attacked by that. Buffs are stacked, and up to that. Yeah, recovery. Look at that, 393. He comes with recovery. I mean, it's the recovery. I feel is. I really feel he recovers quite well. Again, you need to put him in the right group. So he looks cool, but be careful how. I try not to waste anything on him if I were you. So what do we do for Vikal? It's difficult. No one's supposed. He shouldn't really be better than Sophia, but long term, I mean, long term he's probably going to be better than Sophia, but who knows? Put Shamak there. Put Vikal there on the ladder, but again, I think he can. For a free-to-play unit, he's just a mess. So forget him. He's got no function really. So a little C. Next up, let's get straight into it. We're talking about Aurel, and I've already 6-starred Aurel, and actually I've been trying life rings. I've been trying different things on Aurel. I don't know. I have a personal soft spot. I like this unit. I think quite interesting, and it's a cav unit again, but penetrates a single enemy at this rate. 1,000 damage. 20% chance of dealing 5,000. Now this 20% chance of dealing 5,000, this can help with the little deals, if you know what I mean. You just get him to run around, and then after 10 seconds, boom, run around, 10 seconds, boom. So 5 times he'll definitely land the 5,000 damage. So this damage can work out in certain situations, but again, it's a difficulty. It's a difficult how important he is again. Even despite that damage, increases the sword cavalry's movement speed when they travel a certain distance and charge at the enemy to deal 450% physical damage, as well as knocking them back. I mean, it's a great buff, and increases attack speed by 70% in hyper concentration. That's up to level 5 against physical attacks for 6.6 seconds and small cooldown. I mean, this hyper concentration sounds really, really cool. Immunity. I mean, it's not about attack speed. It's immunity against physical attacks. Immunity. I mean, this makes him, theoretically, this makes him OP. I mean, this could make him super good. I mean, when it comes to the time when he can be awakened, maybe he'll be a god. So I have a bad feeling if Wales have him on their cav team, he'll be a killer. So this is a very dangerous unit. Oh. So where does Aurel go? What do we do with Aurel? It's still hard because of the type of unit he is. Who's he better than? Who's he worse than? I think for you free-to-play players that he's a better unit to use than Sophia, because you're not going to probably be investing in many cavs. But again, if you're investing, I'd say if you're elf cavalry units, elf ones are literally some of the best. So if you want to have a team of elves on the side, then you'd probably want him with you with some elf healers. So I'm putting him at B only because he might be worth having just as a separate side unit with like 18 horses, like elf cavalries. So because they'll become quite powerful later. So I'd say have him for later. And yeah, I'd say ignore Sophia for now. If you want to have Sophia's cavalry, then yeah, maybe that makes her better. Still, it's difficult whether I should go for Sophia on that, because her buffs are good, but his hyper concentration is amazing. People. Yeah, I mean, people are ignoring it, but the problem is, yeah, the few seconds it lasts for may not be enough, and it won't be good for most of the games. How's it going to help? You don't normally get hit in the first few seconds. So this is really difficult. So it's like Sophie's more practical, but Aurel has something more interesting. Does that? I don't... This is bad news. Okay. See it is. I tried my best. For me personally, I will always use Aurel more than Sophie. There's no way I want to use it. I mean, maybe. Anyway, there we go. So that should do it. Next up, it's a bit dirty, and I'm getting a bit dizzy looking at this for so long. Before I die, let's just get a few more. Let's get a few more done. Can anyone beat these? Next up is Baron. How many cavalry units? I can't take it anymore. Okay, good old Baron. He runs round. He swings a sword, and he even heals up when he hits people. So, actually, when I've used Baron, I did like him. He felt like nice. Like it felt like you could use him without using the other cavalry units. It felt like, you know, you could have him, and he'd just be nice on your team. You could just put him with your soldiers or put him with your heroes. So for a free-to-play player, there was something better about having him than having the other units. But again, it depends on who you have. I think another point that irritated me with him is that he dies. I remember the interesting thing I remember is that, yeah, he's always dead. He dies so quickly. So, I mean, if you don't pair him with, I don't know, with healers or maybe Celias, he's just not going to last. So I'm guessing if you have a plan on how to use him in combination with Celias and a bunch of healers, maybe there's some good you can do with him. But I think I'd prefer to send, personally, I'd prefer to send like Erin or Aurel, whatever his name is, Aurel, to deal with the problem, not Baron. But either way, I think a lot of people are going to prefer Baron. I don't know. When you first play with Baron, it's so nice. Like, there's a nice feeling. You don't get that. You don't. always get that. You don't get it with Sophia, but with Aurel it feels good as well. But Baron is interesting because he heals. And you get this feeling, you know, he can just keep fighting forever and he'll keep healing. I like that as well. But if he needs to be babysat by someone, he's just a waste of time. And Vikal has a future. Baron is just like, he's just by himself. And yeah, maybe free to play, it's okay, but I think don't waste your time. Next is Kieru, a swordsman from the Amazons. You know how I feel about swordsmen, nearly as bad as I feel about Cavs. That's why they're all in the same ranking. I remember when I got her, I felt very excited. I thought she'll do better than Tiffany in my Amazon group where I focused on magicians, and yeah, she didn't die as quick, but she also didn't produce much either. So, cast a spell of Chaos, dealing 450% damage and making them approach you, making them approach you slowly for 5 seconds. Now that is just unusual. What does, like, this is I mean, it's too specific. I mean, when are you going to use that? You're going to get him to touch a switch, and the normal one, dealing 400% physical damage and reducing HP recovery by 50%. I mean, if that's literally like 50%, like the real 50%, like half, it could work if it messes up their healers. And sometimes in quests, there's some real big problems, like on Chaos 19. She might be quite helpful for that, but then again, you can use others like devs. So difficulty, but she just doesn't make a huge impression. When your HP drops to 50% or less, increases attack speed by 50% and physical defense. I mean, it sounds good, but I don't feel that 50 is worth much. I mean, 50% of personal. In fact, that wouldn't be too bad of physical defense, but she just hasn't made an impression. I don't know why she's overall 4.7. I don't know who's making these silly rankings. They should all be shot. See what I mean? What kind of code is that? You know what language that means. Huh. So as for Kieru, I get it, you need to put her in your Amazon unit because you want to use her buff as a leader, which seems to not do anything and have hardly any impact in the game. But hey, because Penfera, who's here, she produces units that completely deal with everything else. So, but then again, I think, is she worse than Tiffany? You know what, if you're in D, there's no point being better than the other. You're a D. And next we have Mercedes. Mercedes is Mercedes. If you don't know who Mercedes is, then you're literally, you've just started the game. Honestly, if you had all these heroes and not Mercedes, the amount of time you're going to spend on this game would be longer. Mercedes, the main point with her, two things. Her normal one is pretty powerful, but this ultimate skill is OP. This is OP. It's like Celias's Resurrect. This ultimate skill is ridiculous. It's stupid. Absolutely stupid. Charges at the enemy in front and then returns. Now this charge is ridiculous. It just goes boom and then comes back. Boom, 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 boom. That's it. So you can come up with loads of like cheesy techniques. Even if you physically make her run around, she'll just throw out this move and she'll deal damage up to 2 times, not just once. And the worst thing is this inflicting stun and knockback, and it's only every 15 seconds. I mean, stun and knockback, and you can have a cooldown necklace and make it quick. stun and knockback. I mean, the biggest problem for me is not how much she takes off. The biggest problem is the stun and knockback. She stuns so many of them that it's ridiculous. It allows her to get away. This stun is ridiculous. And what happens is if you combine it with what you call a lifesteal ring, then she hits them and she heals herself for hitting them. So she has a high recovery, as you can see in the top right. I mean, what are you going to do about this? I mean, this unit is broken with a lifesteal ring. Without a lifesteal ring, it's hard. It's quite hard. You need a lifesteal ring. But she's still probably better than most DPS units. And the thing is, she's tanky. I mean, with the lifesteal ring, she's a DPS and a tank. Not as good as a tank as Kremhild when Kremhild is awakened, but this is crazy. This unit like would make you not want to be a whale. What's the point of being a whale and getting all these other units when you just have this one who ruins the game? So cheers, free-to-play players. This is who you're going to re-roll for. Try and get the lifesteal ring first. I put my videos on that. That lifesteal ring is very important. And honestly, this unit's too much. This unit's too much. I've already done SS, but honestly, this unit is more than SS. This unit is triple S. So with the lifesteal ring, without the at the beginning, yeah, the first few level ups, yeah, you might not notice anything, but by the time, like, I don't know, by the time her ultimate skill comes around, I don't know, after level 21, I think, when she gets her ultimate, you start to see problems she's causing, and then, yeah, once you get that ring, it's just the end of the world. So, combined with equipment, she's triple S. Without the equipment, I'll give her an S or a double S. So, for now, I'm just going to accept that she doesn't have the equipment, but whatever. Without the equipment, really, I can say she'd probably be really irritating. The ring is lifesteal. There's like a candy ring version. You have to watch the videos. There's 3 rings. But no one will get her without the ring. Free to play, it's possible, but you need to plan how to get it. But Mercedes is the first one you need to choose, no matter what. You then need to roll for Celiaz. 1 star of Celiaz. You have to roll 6 of Mercedes, 6 stars. You then have to 6-star Penfera. And then you need to choose a healer. That's the general strategy. Okay, next up. Cobbs. This one. So Cobbs is very interesting, and as you can see, Cobbs is female, so enough of the fighting that Cobbs is a male. Okay, who knows? Whatever. Either way. Ultimate skill is amazing, increasing your HP, physical defense, magic defense by 100%, magic attack, movement speed by 150%, and attack speed by 200%. I mean, this is quite an amazing ultimate skill. So if it was just like Mercedes and if there were 3 units, Mercedes, Cobbs, and Celiaz, so you keep Celiaz and Cobbs back, and then send Mercedes to do the work, and eventually, you know, something with those buffs, everything will get done. And it's not just that, there's other buffs. 3 units will have their physical attack and magic attack increase. A bit weird, that one. And then the Cobra's Curse will bind other people. So the thing with this unit is, unfortunately, is that this unit generally needs to be focused on the ultimate skill more than the other skills. So this unit is this unit is hit and miss. This unit could be good, but this unit could be bad, because you don't want to waste the slot on Cobbs. But there's something else about Cobbs, actually. When I'm using Cobbs, it seems Cobbs can move very fast. The speed of Cobbs. I mean, where in the stats does it show that ranged evasion? It doesn't really show me, because everything looks the same, like movement speed 1.1. I don't know, does it really make a big difference to 1.1? Maybe it does, because Cobbs moves fast, and you can use that when you're fighting bosses. Some stuff can work to your advantage. Cobbs is weirdly used in quite a lot more situations than normal. And also doesn't need to be ultimate skill, just like using Cobbs to like just distract the bosses or something. So Cobbs is actually very good. Cobbs is like a needed hero. Whether it's because people can't be bothered to use Shamak properly, that could, like, if Shamak was used properly, then there might not be a need for Cobbs. So generally speaking, out of Cobbs and Shamak, yeah, most people will probably get Cobbs first. But should it really be that way? I think if you're really good at strategy, no, maybe Cobbs is not the right person, but Cobbs is used in so many situations, even the underground caves. But again, it's troublesome, this one. Overall, Cobbs is a special unit, and and I'd say for the general player, you can have a Cobbs at 1 star and you can do pretty well. So I think Cobbs is quite important. So yeah, I would say, so what would happen is, if you were rolling, the order would be 6 stars of Mercedes, 6 of Celiaz, no, 1 of Celiaz, 6 of Penfera, over time, not the beginning, 6 of Kirk's, but you have to wait, 6 of Lena over time, Kremhild, just take some time, Aria maybe 6 star, one of these 6 star or a different healer, and 1 star of Cobbs, 1 star probably of Alus, Erin, who knows. These guys, maybe Drusilla needs awakening at least or something, and Shamak, maybe he needs to be much stronger with the stars, but that's the thing, Cobbs doesn't. Cobbs can be 1 star and be very helpful. Shamak's an interesting one. So this is a hard one. I'm gonna, based on the situation with Cobbs, I'm moving Shamak down to the question mark. Shamak has more potential, and that's why I put him on the ladder as well. Next. Oh, look who it is. I completely forgot. It's Dread. The one with like hundreds of skins. Dreads is weird. I'm honestly, I'm scared of dreads. If I see someone with dreads, like, I'm just not gonna, in arena, I'm not gonna go against them. I've had dreads crush my front rows and caused me a lot of trouble. This unit has irritated me one of the most. So that tells me that this unit is also pretty good. This unit, I mean, definitely not at the beginning, but personally, I think it takes a lot of learning to know what exactly makes dreads good. I think there's a coupling. I think you need the correct gear. You need good gear on him. You probably might need to awaken him, and there might even be summoning. There might even be summoning for him. When I say summoning, I mean soul weapons. There isn't one for him, but shockingly, there's one for Kremhild. This is really Kremhild's. That's just not fair. So what to do about Dread? Yeah, he makes a charge. And when I see him make a charge, normally he charges in and he dies quite often. Yeah, and have their movement speed reduced. Now, but when he does charge and it goes well, everything collapses. And that charge is very similar to Mercedes' charge, except Mercedes charges in and comes back and leaves everyone stunned. I don't think he knocks them back. He doesn't stun, so again, this makes Mercedes better. Cleaves everything in front, 400 physical damage, knocking them back, increases your crit rate. It's difficult on this, increases attack speed by, I mean, in one respect he might be better on a one-on-one, like a tank v tank, but there's something about him that I like. So it's difficult to know how to use him. If maybe there's a way to use him well and he's the best, but I do like him on my team. Overall, just liking someone is not enough, and I think he could be more better for a whale. So I like him better than Creon, but Creon, when awakened, will probably him and Creon are very similar for awakening. So maybe he can go up there, but should he be linked with Creon? I think for a free-to-play player, I'm going to say he's not very good for a free-to-play player, but for a whale he's very good. So his potential is huge. But there's so many different people to 6-star, you might not reach him, and you'll probably need to focus on other tanks, other DPS units. You've got these units here to focus on. I think this will be better for now. I know I'm going to get criticism on that, so I'll leave that in there. I'm sure people are going to be like, oh, Dread is good. I think Dread is good as well, but I mean, I'm paying out for him.